Ukraine's dream of joining the European Union is suddenly under siege from its own neighbors. President Volodymyr Zelensky is facing mounting resistance from Poland and Hungary, forcing him into an urgent public appeal. His message: don't let politics block Ukraine's path to Europe. Hungary's Prime Minister Peter Magyar has thrown fresh doubts over Kyiv's EU bid. But the bigger shock is Poland. Once one of Ukraine's strongest backers, Warsaw is now locked in a bitter row with Kyiv after Zelensky approved naming a military unit after the Ukrainian insurgent army, a group Poland blames for wartime massacres of Poles.
So first of all, we count on all the countries on unanimity of EU to open all the classes from our side. We did everything what the Council, what all the leaders asked us to do. Even with some difficulties with Orban government, we did everything. So I hope that Peter Magyar will support, and I hope that also Poland government will support. I think it's important when we all have rules, not, I mean, it's just, political emotions, and they said we have rules in EU. We have to do what we have to do. So and that's why, be honest, yes, we did everything what was in agenda for opening clusters. The second point, look, it was not simple for us to do all these issues during the war, and I think this is also an important moment that we are saving and defending not only Ukraine, of course, first of all, Ukraine, yes, but also other countries of Europe, and I think it's important, it's in interest of all the countries to have Ukraine in EU as quick as possible. So this is what I think, and we have some internal questions. What you asked about the Poland and Polish government, we are neighbors, and I'm sure, of course, we had difficulties in our history, but mostly countries in Europe had difficulties in the past, but we live now.
Pressed on the growing crisis, Zelensky admitted Ukraine has some internal questions with Poland, but he urged both neighbors to look beyond history. Now, we have one aggressor, he declared, insisting Russia, not old disputes, should remain Europe's common enemy.
Now we have one aggressor, and now we have unanimity, and we are defending EU, and we have to think about security for our people for the future. And that's why I think that questions always will find answers if we are ready to be strong neighbors and if we are ready to find answers. So Ukraine is ready. Ukraine, I think, is a strong partner and a good friend for our neighbors. I hope that our neighbors will support.
The timing couldn't be worse. Ukraine wants the EU to open 5 remaining accession chapters before the summer break. Instead, 2 key neighbors are threatening to slow or even derail that momentum, exposing deep cracks inside the European bloc. Zelensky says Ukraine has met every condition Brussels demanded, even while fighting a full-scale war. But with historical wounds reopening and political tempers flaring, Kyiv's biggest battle may no longer be on the battlefield. It could now be convincing its own European neighbors that Ukraine deserves a seat inside the EU.